At the start of the story, we are taken to the year 1997 in the dense forests of Washington, where a woman named Martin is driving with her young son, Jesse. They are on their way to spend the holidays at Jesse's grandparents' house. Jesse's grandfather is a highly skilled professional hunter, and today Jesse is finally going hunting with him. He is incredibly excited about the adventure. As soon as they arrive, Jesse's grandfather says they need to leave right away because they must return before nightfall. Jesse's grandmother packs some food for them, and the two happily set off on their trip. After reaching the forest, they park their car in a safe spot. Jesse's grandfather hands him a gun, and together they head deeper into the woods. Along the way, he teaches Jesse different survival skills, while Jesse enjoys every moment of learning from him. After walking for a while, they suddenly spot a deer. Jesse's grandfather tells him that today he will be the one to hunt it. Jesse carefully takes aim and fires. The bullet hits the deer, but instead of dying, it is badly wounded and quickly runs away. The two immediately begin following its trail. After some time, Jesse starts feeling very hungry, so he stops to take some food out of his bag. Meanwhile, his grandfather keeps walking and unknowingly gets far ahead. Soon, he finds the wounded deer and feels happy that they have finally caught up to it. But when he turns around, Jesse is nowhere to be seen. Realizing that Jesse is missing, he becomes extremely worried. At the same time, Jesse notices a very strange-looking creature in the forest. Without telling his grandfather, he secretly starts following it. While chasing the mysterious animal, he unknowingly wanders much deeper into the dense forest. Suddenly, he comes across something that leaves him completely shocked. There were no houses or signs of people anywhere around, yet right in the middle of the forest stood a strange staircase. It looked as if it had been built only recently. Curious, Jesse climbs the stairs without thinking twice. Meanwhile, his grandfather desperately searches for him. After some time, he finds Jesse's bag lying on the ground, but Jesse is nowhere nearby. This makes him even more anxious because he knows very well that dangerous animals live in these woods, and anything terrible could happen at any moment. After climbing to the top of the staircase, Jesse suddenly sees the same strange creature behind him again. This time, he gets a much closer look at it and is terrified. He quickly runs back down the stairs and tries to escape, but the moment he sees the creature's horrifying face, he starts screaming in fear. Before he can get away, the terrifying thing suddenly grabs him and drags him into the darkness. Jesse's grandfather hears his screams and immediately rushes toward the sound. When he arrives, he is shocked to find the same mysterious staircase standing in the middle of the forest. Before he can understand what is happening, the strange creature suddenly comes out of the darkness and attacks him. He fires his gun again and again to protect himself, but none of the bullets have any effect. The powerful creature also drags him away, and both of them disappear without a trace. The scene then jumps ahead 20 years. A group of college friends is now heading to the same forest to enjoy their vacation. On the way, they stop at a small store to buy some supplies. As the shop owner listens to their conversation, he realizes they are planning to visit that very forest. He seriously warns them not to go there. He tells them that during the days of the red moon, many people have disappeared forever in that cursed forest, and they should stay away from it at all costs. However, the friends assume he is only joking, so they completely ignore his warning and continue their journey. After reaching the forest, they park their vehicle, pack their gear, and head inside. A little farther in, they come across an old cabin that looks very mysterious. It seems like someone may have built it years ago as a survival shelter to stay alive in the wilderness. After taking a look, they continue moving forward. They keep walking for a long time and eventually become exhausted. Even so, they do not stop because they want to reach a specific location where they plan to set up their tents for the night. Just then, a girl named Rebecca stops to drink some water. After that, she bends down to fix her shoes. While she is doing that, her friends unknowingly walk far ahead, and Rebecca doesn't even realize she has been left behind. Suddenly, a strange girl appears right beside her. The girl's feet are horribly burned. At first, Rebecca cannot understand what she is looking at, but the moment she raises her eyes and sees the girl's face, she is completely terrified. Rebecca is so terrified that while running, she loses her way and ends up back at the same old cabin they had passed earlier. She stops there, hoping that her friends will return and find her, but suddenly the same burned girl walks out of the cabin and violently attacks her. Luckily, Rebecca reacts quickly and runs away before the girl can catch her. She keeps running until she finally reaches her friends, who have already started looking for her. Rebecca is completely shaken. She tells everyone everything that happened, but no one believes her. They think she is simply exhausted from all the walking and is imagining things. Their friend Duck even makes fun of her, saying that nothing like that happened and that she should just enjoy enjoy the trip. However, Nick becomes worried after seeing how frightened Rebecca really is. He remembers how seriously the shop owner had warned them not to enter this forest, and he slowly starts believing that the man may have been telling the truth. The group continues walking because it will soon be dark, and they need to find a place to spend the night. After going a little farther, they hear the voice of an angry man shouting at someone. When they look ahead, they see him talking to a woman, and Rebecca is horrified to realize that she is the same terrifying burned girl she saw earlier. The friends slowly move closer to them. The man keeps apologizing to the woman again and again, while she silently sits in front of him with her head lowered. As they get even closer, they notice that the man has a huge hole in his head. It looks as if some wild creature has torn out and eaten his brain. The woman is holding a baby that is crying loudly. The friends decide to help them, but the man keeps apologizing to the woman as though he cannot even hear anyone else speaking. The moment Duck touches him, the man suddenly warns them to leave immediately. He tells them that if they stay, not a single one of them will survive. He says that the woman sitting in front of him is his wife, and the baby in her arms is his child. He begs them one last time to leave this place at once. As soon as he finishes speaking, he shoots himself with his own gun. Strangely, nothing happens to him. Even after being shot, he remains completely alive and unharmed. At that moment, the woman stands up and shows everyone the baby she is carrying. The baby looks horrifying. Instead of a normal child, it resembles a giant insect. Seeing such a terrifying sight, all of the friends panic. None of them know what to do, so they immediately turn around and run for their lives. Rebecca is even more frightened because she had already seen that horrifying woman before, but no one believed her. Now everyone has witnessed the nightmare with their own eyes. The friends keep running until they finally stop at a place that seems safe. They have no idea where to go because while escaping, they have completely lost their way in the dense forest. They realize that the farther they go, the deeper and more terrifying the forest becomes. All they want now is to get out of this place alive. After discussing it, they decide to stay where they are, set up their tents, spend the night there, and leave the forest as soon as morning comes. Everyone puts up their tents, eats a little food, and goes to sleep. None of them had ever imagined that this camping trip would turn into such a horrifying nightmare. During the night, Duck has a strange dream. He feels as if something is dragging him outside. When he suddenly wakes up, he realizes it is not a dream at all. A horrifying creature is pulling him deep into the darkness of the forest while tearing at his body with its claws. The rest of the group wakes up after hearing Duck's loud screams. They quickly realize that he is no longer inside his tent. Everyone becomes extremely worried and begins following the drag marks left on the ground. After walking a short distance, they find Duck's shoes lying there. His sleeping bag is also nearby, ripped apart and covered with fresh blood, but Duck himself is nowhere to be found. The friends are terrified, thinking that perhaps wolves have killed him. Suddenly, they notice a powerful light shining through the forest. The light is so bright that it lights up the entire area. Wondering who could possibly be there in the middle of the night, they decide to follow it. Soon they arrive at the same mysterious staircase, surrounded by glowing lamps. It is the exact same staircase where little Jesse came 20 years earlier before a terrifying creature attacked him. The friends are stunned by the strange staircase, but what shocks them even more is how all these lamps are glowing in the middle of such a dense forest. They cannot understand where the electricity is coming from. George can no longer control his curiosity and starts climbing the stairs. The others repeatedly tell him not to go up, but he ignores every warning and continues. Behind the staircase, they discover a red-colored door. They begin to think that Duck must be trapped behind it. They can even hear someone groaning in pain from inside, making them certain that it is Duck calling for help. Josh immediately starts pushing against the door with all his strength. The door opens easily, and George suddenly falls straight down into a basement below. The basement is packed with all kinds of things. It feels as if an entirely different world exists beneath the ground. Nick climbs down as well to help George. Inside, both of them clearly hear Duck's voice, crying and begging them to save him. Believing that their friend is somewhere deeper inside, the two decide to move farther into the basement and rescue him as quickly as possible. As Nick and George move a little farther inside, they find a frightened little boy curled up in a corner. The boy is none other than Jesse, who disappeared in this forest 20 years ago. Jesse is still a child because the staircase above is connected to another dimension where time moves differently. Frightened, Jesse tells them that the way out keeps changing all the time. During what has been 20 years in the outside world, he has tried countless times to escape, but he has never been able to find the exit. He begs them to leave as quickly as possible. However, Josh and Nick do not believe him. They tell Jesse not to worry because they already know the way back outside. Their main goal is to find their missing friend Duck, so they continue deeper into the basement. Nick and Josh believe this place must be some secret underground facility where the government worked many years ago because it is completely hidden from the outside world and no ordinary person could ever discover it. Suddenly, Jesse notices something strange standing in the darkness ahead and freezes in fear. As soon as Nick's flashlight shines on it, they see a horrifying creature. The three of them immediately turn around and run back toward the staircase. Before they can escape, the creature grabs Josh from behind and drags him away. Nick and Jesse barely manage to get back outside alive. Nick is devastated because the creature took Josh right in front of his eyes, and he was powerless to save him. A moment later, the creature starts trying to climb out through the doorway. It slams against the door again and again, trying to break through. Left with no other choice, the remaining survivors run for their lives. While escaping, Nick suddenly slips and falls into a deep pit filled with old human bodies. This is where the creature brings its victims after hunting them. Among the bodies, they also find Duck's corpse. Seeing their friend dead fills everyone with grief. Just then, the creature comes after them again. It has now completely escaped from the basement and is hunting them once more. The survivors run as fast as they can until they spot an old van. Without wasting a second, they rush inside. Rebecca, however, is not as lucky. The creature catches her from behind and brutally tears her head from her body. The others quickly shut the van's door, and after a while, the creature finally leaves the area. Jesse then tells them something extremely important. The creature cannot see anything. It hunts only by listening to sound. If they want to stay alive, they must remain completely silent no matter what they do. The group begins speaking only in whispers. Jesse finally reveals who he really is. He tells them that he is the same boy who disappeared in this forest 20 years ago. Everyone is shocked because Jesse used to go to the same school as Nick when they were children. They were even classmates. Since time passes very slowly beneath the staircase, Jesse has remained a little boy even after 20 years have passed in the outside world. After waiting for some time, they believe the danger is past and assume the creature has gone. They decide to leave the van. While searching inside it, they find a gun along with some ammunition. Gathering their courage, Nick and his friend quietly step outside, while Jesse throws some metal utensils in the opposite direction to distract the creature with the noise. Unfortunately, the creature notices the sounds made by Nick and his friend instead and charges straight toward them. They keep shooting at it, but the bullets have no effect at all. The creature attacks Nick's friend and kills her instantly with a single strike. Watching another friend die fills Nick with rage. With no other option left, he runs back into the van to save himself. Every one of his friends has now been brutally killed, leaving Nick completely alone. If he wants to survive, he will have to face these creatures by himself. Inside the van, Nick notices a gas cylinder. He opens it and throws it far away onto the ground. Hearing the loud noise, the creature moves toward the cylinder. At the perfect moment, Nick lights a flare and throws it toward the leaking gas. A massive explosion erupts, setting the creature on fire. Screaming in agony, it runs deep into the forest. In the final scene, the mysterious staircase is also consumed by flames. This makes it clear that the connection to the other dimension is finally being destroyed forever. Nick and Jesse stand at a distance, silently watching everything burn. Jesse innocently tells Nick that he wants to go home. The scene then cuts to the next morning. Several police officers arrive to investigate the area. They discover not only the bodies of Nick's friends, but also the remains of many people who had disappeared over the years. Soon after, Jesse's mother and grandmother arrive after hearing the news. 20 years have passed and both of them have grown old. They are completely stunned when they see Jesse because, even after all these years, he is still the same little boy who disappeared long ago. And with that mystery still unanswered, the story comes to an end.